Welcome to Reformed and Real, where we take a journey with our people fresh out of prison and how the community around them really feels. My name is Mario Hernandez, and I am one of the afflicted people that got released back into the community, here to try and figure out how this looks.
And I'm Wayne Burt, curious onlooker who wants to know about our prison system, get to know the stories beyond the stigma of incarceration, and because, like Mario, I believe all stories count.
Yes, they do. Welcome back, Wayne.
Yeah, thank you.
This is, if everybody doesn't know, this is, we've been doing this now for a few weeks.
Yeah, we're getting our legs under us.
Yeah, we're starting to get a little better.
It's so interesting, because I'm listening to these before we broadcast them, and sometimes that's just a little bit of time after we recorded them, and so interesting to go back and just go, oh, yeah, we were so young then.
Yeah.
Which isn't really true, but, I think you record something, you're like, oh, that was a great episode, and then you walk on into your next thing. Yeah. And then you forget that you did this thing, and so you're listening to it with an objective ear again,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a fun experience.
Unfortunately, I listen to them way too much because I'm editing them, so.
Sure. Yeah, you could probably recite them from memory, maybe, I imagine.
Maybe, yep.
That's your one-man play.
So this is going to be just me and you today, and we're just going to talk about, we had a little visit. Chad Page gave us a tour through Idaho State Correctional Institution, and that would be called?
The Yard.
Or the Yard, yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
So let's talk about that a little bit. The reason they call it the Yard is it is the main prison, the Yard.
Yeah.
So,
what do you mean main prison?
It's the main prison. That's where everybody goes to get diagnostics done.
Right.
So when you get brought from the county jail or from wherever, sometimes it's straight from the community if you're a parole violator, but you go there and they do educational testing to see where your education level is. Mm-hmm. And they do some medical checks, make sure you're healthy. Beyond that, they do psychological evaluation.
Yes.
So when they evaluate all that stuff, and then they do like a background check on you, they look at your criminal history, they decide at that point, what kind of custody level does this person need to be in?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what surprised me about it. And by the way, Chad Page is the Chief of Institutions and Operations over at IDOC.
The one that gave us a tour.
For IDOC, yeah. He and a fellow named Nick Baird, the warden of that facility, gracious people.
Yeah, very good people.
Yeah, really interesting to walk through the whole thing. Well, you talk about the intake facility. That was one of the most eye-opening parts of the tour to me. Right. It's called RDU. RDU, got it.
Regional Diagnostic Unit.
Regional Diagnostic Unit. And so the way it was described to me is it's somewhat of the most uncertain parts of someone's incarceration. And I think that's, if you think about how your parents moved to a different city, right? You're enrolled in a new school. I think we all remember how terrifying those days were. Now you add, varying degrees of a criminal element, and not necessarily people that have offended at the same level, right? There are some very hardened criminals in there, and there are some people that are in there on pretty, more minimal drug charges, let's say, or
lesser serious offenses, right?
Yeah, and so at the beginning, when you get out of county, right, when you begin to serve your sentence, and your sentence begins right there when you get dropped into RDU. Is that right?
No. The sentence gets started depending on how much credit you had from county jail. They give you all the credit for your county time.
Oh, they do?
So, yeah.
Yeah, and the credit is just days, right?
Right, days.
Gotcha. And so when a sentence happens, right, you get a 5-piece.
Yep.
Like my lingo?
Yeah. I got a 5-piece.
You got a 5-piece?
Yeah.
Did you get more than one?
No, I've just gotten one. I got a bunch of 2-pieces, though.
You got some 2-pieces. In case you're not quite picking up on this, a piece is a number of years. So 2 years, 5 years.
Yeah, I did a 5-piece. That's 5 years. Yeah. Yep.
So in other words, somebody gets sentenced to a 5-piece, and they just convert it into days, and then they count down the days.
Right.
Gotcha. And I'm sure that, does your average person that goes into a facility start counting the days? Is that average?
I think it depends. So I can break that down for you a little bit. So there's the guy that's doing a year, he's counting days.
Yeah.
And there's a guy that's doing 5, 10, 12, 13, 20, 30. That guy's counting by years and sometimes groups of years, right? So when I went in with my 5 years, I was like, oh, geez, you know. And when I hit a year, I says, all right, I'm 1/5 of the way down.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I got my second year down, I'm 2/5 of the way down. And when I broke the third year, I was like, I'm over half now. I've got 2 years left. And, you know, I count my last year. And then after that, it's days. I got 365 days and I'll wake up today to go home. So it kind of depends. But I think everybody looks at it kind of like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's almost the reverse order of like when you're growing up, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, a kid that will tell you, I am 2 years and 1/3 of a year old or something like that. 2 years, 2 months and 3 days. You're like, whoa, boy, you're in for a world of hurt if you count everything by the day.
Yeah.
To the point where you're in your 50s or 60s, you know, people say, happy birthday, how old are you? And you're like, how old am I?
Yeah.
You have to think about it. Pretty funny. Yeah, that's interesting. No one puts chicken scratches in walls, right?
Well, I wouldn't call it chicken scratches, but some people will put little marks, like one day, and some people will put like a mark for a month. However, that gets you in trouble.
Because you're defacing government property.
Right? So I think pretty much for the most part, people are over that, writing on stuff. You know, I mean, nowadays they give you a little calendar when you get there. You know, a little red one. It's got address. You know, it's an address book with a calendar on it.
Everybody gets one?
Yeah.
Are like also addresses of people you want to call in there or write?
And phone numbers.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Because you do get call privileges every now and then.
Yeah, but not in the RDU really, which is, you know, that's where we were at.
Yeah.
Right. So we were at Unit 15 on the B side, which is RDU. Mm-hmm. And you remember what you felt like when you walked in? How quiet was it?
It was very quiet.
Yeah.
Quiet and ominous.
Very ominous.
I mean, at the beginning of it, not quite so much, because I think, you tell me, I think people were out for some exercise, or it was around lunchtime or something.
They were actually going to medical.
They were going to medical, got it. Because when we walked in, it's a fairly long hallway into those huge mechanical gates that you have to go through to get into the actual blocks of cells.
Yeah.
But there were quite a few people milling around, and all in white jumpsuits.
Yeah. White is the color of RDU. And those guys were. You can tell that, you know, they had just woken up, because pretty much it's all you got to do is sleep in there, and you felt the ominousness of walking in there. And, you know, that's because of, remember, that's an area where there's no security level assigned. So we don't know if they're minimum, maximum, or medium. So, you know, IDOC does the best thing, and it says, all right, well, let's just treat everybody like they're maximum until we figure out that they're not. And,
I see.
And that's a very, very good thing to do. They never used to do that.
It is a good thing. Explain that. Why do you say that?
Well, just say that you get a 18-year-old kid in there that got caught with drugs, and he doesn't know anything about fighting or anything, right? And you got a violent offender on the other side that's a max custody individual.
Yeah.
You don't want to mix them up for a couple of reasons, right? Right. You don't want the kid to be, you know, influenced, right? And you don't want him to get hurt.
In danger,
right? In danger.
But aren't they mixed together?
They kind of. So what they do is they let out sections of that room at a time, like 10, a controllable amount, right? Because you just never know. They'll let those people out. They'll come out. They'll get to use the phone and get on the tablet and send emails to their family. Yeah. They'll get to take a shower, and they'll get to go out to the rec yard, usually about 3 times a week. So it's not all candy and play games in there, like some people think. You know, I get people say, "Oh my gosh, there's TVs in there," but you know what? There's not.
Who thinks that? People that want to implement budget cuts.
Yeah.
Like they're all playing Twister in there.
Yeah. They
That's
think
ridiculous.
It's all fun and games in there, and you saw that it is not.
No, it's bleak. I mean, it was the one part of that facility overall at the yard that looked like that traditional scene you see of a prison in a prison movie, right? Like
Right,
like the
right.
harder core stuff,
Yeah.
you know, like the Birdman of Alcatraz or whatever, right?
Yep.
That was the block. And, you know, it's all kind of this bland beige color. Everything's the same, and it's
Yep.
all cinder block. And, you know, the doors lock, and you have to go through 2 gates, I believe.
Yep.
They were almost like medieval moats in a way,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, castle gates, really
Yeah.
something. But I did see an interesting exchange. I saw a few of them, right, when we walked in with Chad and Nick. Chad recognized somebody,
Mhm.
right, who was obviously a repeat offender.
Right.
It was a very cordial interaction. I mean, I think that resembles everything I saw as far as interactions with the inmates, right? With you and I and well, you were like the Return of the Conquering Hero, but you know we'll get to
I
that
don't
one.
know about that.
Yeah, but Chad had an interaction. He goes, "You back, huh?" And the guy explained his situation. He goes, "Well, I hope we get it right this time." You know, just like
It's
you
funny.
know. And it wasn't like him going, "I'm ashamed of you," right? It was more just like, "Come on, man, come on,
Yeah.
use your chances, get better."
I think that's the overwhelming perception of people in IDOC. And not so much the correctional officer level. There is some that think like that,
Mm-hmm.
but mostly it's the administration, because these people that have worked in IDOC for 25 years or 20 years or even 10 years watch people grow up in there.
Yeah,
And that when you watch people grow up in there, you get to know them,
you do.
right? And then at that point, I think those people are the ones that know the most that, oh, that's just Mario.
Yeah,
He's back and he couldn't stay clean, right?
right.
So, but they really, really, really have an interest in getting people better. And that's that conversation. Like, you know what? I hope that you heard. I hope you find it this time, you know, because I don't
Yeah.
want to see you here. I'd love
Yeah.
to see you at Albertsons instead, buying some groceries with your
Sure.
family.
Yeah, so no one works there is thinking about having more job security if they can keep people there longer.
Well, you know, there's a few of those, but that's okay. Then, you know, it's just the way it is, you know.
Sure.
You work at McDonald's, there's 10 people that work and one
Yeah.
person just stands there.
Yeah. Well, and the whole thrust of these conversations that you and I have, mostly with other people, but sometimes with each other, seems to be that it really doesn't do society any good to just lock people away, keep building new prisons, and keep heightening the stigma that people have about people that were incarcerated.
Right.
It doesn't do any good.
It does not.
It doesn't make people safer. It doesn't help our tax, bill. And, it doesn't help us probably be better humans, I think,
yeah.
if I can put it that way.
I had a very wise man that's been around for a long time. His name is Brian Underwood. He's in charge of, he's the chief of probation and parole. And I did an interview with him one time, and he says, true public safety only happens when people get better.
Mm.
Wise.
Yeah.
That is probably the most telling phrase right there. That
Yeah.
if people are interested in true public safety, Wayne, it's when people get better that happens.
Right.
It's not when he just put him in prison and let
Sure.
him sit there for 5 years and then kick him out with no help.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. And if you can imagine, public safety is not only, ceasing to be a repeat offender, right? It's not only stopping endangering society a little bit. That's kind of dramatic, but it's also maybe totally flipping the script and starting to contribute to society, like
Right.
helping other people,
Right. Right.
Yeah. You might know something about that.
I do. Just a thing or two. I'm not only a repeat offender, or was. Let me rephrase that for everybody. I was a repeat offender,
Right.
And in and out of the system. So,
Right.
I feel that tremendously. So,
Yeah.
Wayne, when we were, so there's a couple of different parts. Tell me about another part that you remember in there.
I will. But first off, how long were you in RDU?
That's a 4 to 8 week stay.
Gotcha.
They try to target 2 weeks, but it's difficult.
Yeah, there's a big backlog.
Yeah, there's a big backlog, and we've got people sitting in county jails across the state.
Yeah.
And that's something that
Yeah.
needs to be said as well.
Does your experience get worse the longer you're in RDU, as far as feeling safe, feeling certain about where you stand, stuff like that.
I think as a resident inmate, what they used to go by in there, I don't think you feel unsafe. I think you just feel alone.
Yeah.
Because you're in a cell 23 hours a day with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And really there's, that can serve as two things. Like one, it's a good time to reflect. Two, it's a good time to get depressed, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to get onto a phone. When they let people out of the cells for day room, people run to the phones. I mean, run. Sometimes you'll be in line behind 8 or 10 people if they let that many out. And you're waiting for 15 minutes apiece to get on the phone because they're 15-minute calls.
Yeah.
So, that it's funny. That's one thing that people don't really know is that those people just want to talk to their family or their friends or their girlfriend, their wife, their son, their daughter, whoever it is, their pastor, whoever it is that they're close to, and just have a little bit of communication with the outside world because it is literally, you are literally alone in that cell. And I know that, some people think that's what people deserve. I do not, however. That's just part of the process. It's not deserved. It's just part of the process. The deserving part is where you need to be removed from society for your decisions, right?
Right.
And not all of them either. I have my problems with that too.
Well, and deserving is always, it's such a personalized word, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it sometimes is really hard, particularly if you're a person that's had a crime committed against them, right?
Right.
To not personalize it because it disrupts your life. It might even, introduce tragedy into your life, Right. So I could see how that is. Yep. But I think to apply that to every situation for someone that ends up in a correctional institute is probably a little limiting.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
Yeah. Obviously there's two sides to corrections and the justice system. There's the victim and there's the offender, right? Yeah. The person that ends up going to prison or jail or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard, Wayne, to get somebody to really think about their victim when they're there doing that. They're like more worried about, gosh dang, I'm in this hole and I'm lonely and I don't know where I'm going because nobody knows where they're going from there. Nobody.
Yeah.
And I can't talk to my family and I can't get out of this cell and there's nothing I can do about it. And what I always did is I just got in. As soon as I walked in, I just made myself at home and started figuring out a plan. All right, I'm going to work out when I get up in the morning and for an hour, and then I'm going to give myself a sponge bath in the sink. And and I'm going to wait for lunch.
Yeah.
And
late at night before the lines were in the sink area.
Yeah.
That was the deal at RDU, right?
No, in the cell.
Oh, right.
That's just you get showers about every other day. I don't think it's every day. Sometimes it's every day, but I think typically it's every other day.
Gotcha. Yeah. You had to find a workaround.
Yeah, for sure.
You're a crafty guy.
I could tell you some stories about showers and how hard they are to get.
Oh, boy. Yeah. How are we doing on time?
We're doing pretty good. Are we going a half hour or are we going 30 or an hour?
Well, I was thinking a half hour, but...
Because we're already 20 minutes in.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, we could go an hour. Yeah.
All right,
we'll just have to figure out it being one of those weeks where we can go an hour, Yeah. So...
All right, everybody, we've been having this discussion, Wayne and I, about our trip to Idaho State Correctional Institution. We will be right back.
Welcome back. This is Reformed and Real. I'm Wayne Burritt with my co-host, Mario Hernandez, and we are talking about our trip through the Idaho. Oh, my gosh. I need this in front of me. Yeah. I know you can edit it. And then this computer screen takes forever to come up, blah, blah, blah. Our trip through ISCI, the Idaho State Correctional Institution, or the Yard.
Yep.
I mean, I hope that we can liberate ourselves. I know you already have, and we can just refer to it as the Yard eventually.
Yeah, let's just call it the Yard.
But our listeners need to get used to that, I think.
Oh, they can just, we'll make them do some research. What is the Yard?
The one podcast that makes listeners do research.
Yeah.
People want to know how you succeed doing that.
Yeah.
Well, so to answer your question about the trip through the yard, right? I've excuse me, I've obviously given this a lot of thought, and you know, it's human nature to compare it to other situations that you've had or other experiences, because you know there's nothing like that. Not for me, not for this law-abiding citizen.
Right.
But it reminded me of a sort of an underfunded community college campus.
Yeah.
With a lot of security around it.
Yeah.
It wasn't gray and bleak, but you know the fact that it's a prison, you know, there's razor wire, guard towers, all that stuff, you know, made it definitely feel that way. But when you go in and then you walk through the facilities, there were two things. One was you go into the various facilities and just feel the life inside of them.
Right.
You know, and one would be like, you know, where we started, which was it was the educational facility. What's the name of that?
We went to education. Yep.
Education, right.
Yep.
And boy, you talk about a place that just was buzzing with people,
right.
You know.
Right.
You had people at the information desk helping other people with various things. What were they doing?
All right. So that's a reentry services desk. So that desk actually does, they help people get aligned with resources when they're ready to go home.
Right.
So, which is important. So a lot of youngsters and maybe some older people that go through there don't really know, like, where am I going to go to get clothes, or where am I going to go to get a job? How do I do this stuff? Where do I get my classes, my treatments, outside treatment set up? So Idaho Department of Corrections has allowed there to be a reentry program, a reentry services desk in there, and they're doing it institution-wide, where they're telling people this is what you can get, this is what you can do. And it's not a list of free stuff. It's a list of resources like people like learning how to live, that they can come here, and we will give them clothes, hygiene, shoes, coats, and, you know, one last thing is if they sign up for college, you get a free laptop.
That's great.
And, so when they know that, they know where to go. So when they get out, they don't have to sit there and worry about, man, I don't have $50 to buy my hygiene, to take a shower and put deodorant on and wash myself and brush my teeth. I don't have to do that because Mario Learning How to Live does that for us.
Sure.
And I don't have to worry about a ride because St. Vincent de Paul does that for us.
Right.
And I don't have to worry about a food box because St. Vincent de Paul also does that. And I don't have to worry about mental health help because we have One Love that does that. So there's a lot of resources out here, community services that help people in their transition. And that's what they're doing. They're guiding people.
That's great. It beats the heck out of just showing up on the streets and going, hey, buddy, do you know where? Or calling one of your old accomplices or whatever, you know, might lead you back into a bad spot. But I noticed at that desk, it looked like there were incarcerated individuals behind the desk giving that information to people that were about to get out.
Yeah, so, you know, when you're looking at those people that are back there, there's actually a different dynamics back there. There's residents that are incarcerated, right? They actually run the program, the reentry program, because, like I think, we, formerly incarcerated or incarcerated, know what we need better than anybody else, right? Because we've been through it. I've been through it. I know what people need as a resource. Not saying that IDOC does not, but I think that we have a better connection with it. So they give that opportunity for residents to be back there helping people get their resources in line that understand.
Yeah.
So when somebody has a question, you know what, I'm really worried about this. We're like, oh, don't worry about it. You got this right here. And there was actually a case manager back there as well. She was doing a interview with somebody, basically just talking to him about what he needed, right?
Someone who worked for IDOC.
Somebody who worked for IDOC.
Got it.
And also back there was somebody from St. Vincent back there. And you know, we're all in it together. We love to see that. When I go into a building and I see people from, you know, different resourcing like St. Vincent, and when we go through there, or like One Love, or when Trio goes in there. I see all these people, I know them, and anyway, so it's a great thing. And you notice that Chad and Nick were in there mixing with all the residents and they know them. It's like they're in there talking to people that they know, which is important. Would you rather be around people that know you, or would you rather be around a bunch of strangers?
Sure.
Like it's that thing. Everybody wants to go where everybody knows their name. There was a show about that once, right?
I think there was, yeah. It involved a bar.
Yeah. So this isn't a bar, but it's still, everybody wants to know the name. So.
But it's a gathering place.
Yeah.
With no alcohol. Hopefully.
No.
That was the first glimpse I had of like how fraternal it was, right?
Right.
And by fraternal, I don't mean that in the simple way where it's like, hey, buddy, how's it going? And everyone's just pals or whatever. But it's that familiarity that you talk about. What's funny is going in there, and I can only imagine what it's like if you're an inmate or a newer inmate. But I went in there, and obviously I was a little timid, a little fear. I mean, it's not every person that's never been inside one of those that walks through a high security gate. You don't know what's going to happen. You watch a lot of movies, you get a lot of wrong ideas in your head.
Yep.
But I go in there and I see a few people I know.
Yeah, that was weird, right?
It was real
Actually,
weird.
the first person you saw was somebody you know.
Yeah, that's right.
That's Deb.
Yeah, Deb. Yeah, Deb Clonley. She's she works as a guard. Would that be her position?
Correctional officer.
Correctional officer. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and she's actually runs the education building.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So that was great. And, it wasn't like, I can't talk to you now or whatever. It was like, hey, how are you? And it really did help stuff. The other thing, too, is it felt like in that building, which was a remarkable experience, I have to tell you, there were so many people eager to show me their work, right?
Right. Yeah.
Vance Smith, of course, who I met right away.
Program manager, basically a principal, for lack of,
Yeah.
He doesn't have the title as principal, but that's what he is.
Yeah. He exudes himself like a principal.
Yeah. Awesome dude.
Yeah, he's great. And he showed us through all this stuff and talked about, how, they always have to, how would I say it? They always have to be really, really opportunistic with what resources they have.
Right.
The library's modest, but it was well used. It was a hub of activity. There's a whole drawing component. There are people raising plants in there.
Yeah, they have a horticulture program in there.
And then your bailiwick, the video center, the video operation. I'm not calling these things exactly what they are, but that one has a podcast studio. And then I met your posse.
Yeah, so I love my posse. So those guys, they're right now, there's 6 full-timers in there working the media program. So all what we call it is now is LH2L Productions, for lack of a better word, right? Because Learning How to Live Productions, it used to be
Well, you're getting your brand out there.
It used to be, yeah.
You're going to be next to a Chick-fil-A before you.
It used to be just regular education, computer stuff going on there. And like I said, I think I said it in the first episode, is when I got to prison, I just happened to come up on somebody that was editing a video on some Adobe Element thing they had there. And I was like, hey, and the powers that be upstairs, up above us in the blue sky, he decided that it was an opportunity for me to teach something that I've known for my whole life, which was video production. And I started at one institution, I went to another, and then I went to another institution, and so I got the opportunity to build 3 of these facilities. But that one right there is, let's just say those are my model kids, right? Model men, right?
Yeah.
Because they have gone above and beyond what I taught them. I have now in that classroom, fusion specialists. Those are video effects, right? Music. icons. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but talented musicians,
Mm-hmm.
editors, sound engineers,
Yeah.
photographers and lighting specialists in there now, and they're doing stuff in that place, trying to change what the dynamics of education, to teach people, to not just through that program, but to give them insight onto what's going on in education to the people that are sitting in their cell, trying to figure out how they're going to run their next year, right? They want people in education because we all know that education is where recidivism goes down.
Yeah, we do know that.
That is a fact.
Kryptonite for recidivism.
It is.
It's really something. I saw the product of something that they put together, your posse.
Yeah.
It was a promotional video.
Yeah.
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 It was beautiful.
Yeah, they do good work.
And it looked like they were still putting some final touches on it.
Yeah.
You know, me who sees something, I'm like, that's the best thing I've ever seen. But there's still a ways to go on their project. But the other thing that struck me is, one, how excited they were about the work they were doing, how friendly they were, and how much pride they had.
Yeah.
And so if you sit there and watch it, right, the 4 or 5 of them, they kind of huddled together, 6 people, maybe something like that. I don't want to short sell it, but to take the time to talk to each individual about what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, you could go to national parks and have worse tour guides than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those guys were great.
Yeah. We had with Vance, Nick, and Chad, we had a great group of people showing us around. And it's Andrew Strebel. So Andrew Strebel runs that lab that we were in.
Yeah. And we did interact with him.
Yeah,
right?
we did. Yeah. It's really good that what people should know about that environment, and it's not just the video production part; it's all of education.
Mm-hmm.
People act different in there, right? All of a sudden, they want to be professional. There's nothing that makes me more proud in this world than to see somebody talking to me with a clipboard in their hand, talking work, business, whatever it is, right? And when I walk through there, Wayne, I get so many people stop me and say, hey, you know what? First of all, how did you do it? How did you get out, stay out, never come back? And how did you start learning how to live? And how did you do this? That's what that does in there. All education, when people see success, they want to be that too. Because remember, I told you can raise your hand in a room. You can say, hey, how many people in this room don't want change in any room in prison? And nobody's going to raise their hand.
No, nobody's going to do that.
Everybody wants to be out of prison, cutting their grass and doing that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So education's a great place.
Who likes eating a bad diet? Yeah, no one's going to raise their
Sometimes.
Well, when you mention the few food items, then
Yeah.
Nachos with terrible cheese or whatever. Yeah, me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that takes me to, going through that facility was a real eye-opener. It was a great place to start. You know how to make good first impressions.
Yeah.
Evil genius.
Yeah. I'm going to show him. It's really cool.
But then we walked down. It wasn't a perfectly circular tour geographically, right? We made our way through the facility and ultimately down to RDU, which we've talked about. And then we kind of circled our way back to, and you can tell me the block, but it was the last place you served time in cell 30, right?
Yes. So, no.
30?
50C.
50C.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Was
Sorry
my cell.
about that.
Wayne got to see my cell.
I got to see your cell.
Yeah.
And boy, I'm like, what a place for promise.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Bleak stuff, man.
So I don't know if you remember, but I was cool up until we got to that building, and I was like, oh,
yeah, and I wanted to ask you about that because 2 things happened. We went down, and there were a lot of people in that cell. What is that block called? What is it called?
That's called 10 House.
10 House. Why?
Because it's the building 10.
Oh,
and
I
just
see.
call it house because it houses the residents.
I see.
Yeah.
And how many folks would you say are in there?
I think there's about 200 in there. If I can't,
Gotcha.
I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, pretty modest, but the narrow hallways, and then it's almost like a drab dorm, right?
Right. Yeah.
The break room, is just a couple raggedy tables and a microwave, basically, and a TV.
That's a fishbowl right there.
That's a fishbowl.
Yeah. Glass all the way around it.
Two lost souls living in a fishbowl.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of people, right? And so those must have been the people who weren't in the educational facility, nor were they in, where they build furniture. We can talk about that.
Right,
We didn't tour inside of that facility, but we saw it. So what distinction do those folks have? So
that particular house, 10 house, is a worker building. So if you have a job, you can go into that unit. If there's a waiting list, and you have to be disciplinary offense report free, right? You can't have any discipline on you. That's kind of, let's just call it an honor dorm kind of, but we're going to go to the real honor dorm here in just a minute.
Sure.
For the youth.
The real honor dorm is freedom.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yes. Yeah. So that place is generally for people that are older.
Mm-hmm.
They're more relaxed, and they're working. Right.
Gotcha.
So I got to live there for a couple of years.
Well, where are they working? What are the jobs?
So there's cooks in the kitchen.
Gotcha.
There's groundskeepers,
laundry,
ILD, laundry. There's education. Some of those guys work at the school, and some of them work in other buildings like maintenance and janitors and stuff like that. They have all of them have jobs. If you don't have a job there, then you're probably not going to be there.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay. Got you. Honor dorm. I like that. And it looked like there were some individual cells, but there were some who shared cells. There's always the capacity to share a cell. There's bunks in every single one of those, but some people get the distinction of being able to be in their cell by themselves, which you were one of those people.
Yes. So it's not really, they don't really have an option to put another person in one of those. I think the lawsuit is called BALA. And that lawsuit has been intact in Idaho for a long time. They can only put so many inmates in an area, right? They can only have so many people. So what they did is they made every other cell a single cell. So when you have that, it's kind of and it is a privilege, right? Because if you're in one of those single cells, you're pretty well known, right? You're known as a hard worker, responsible. And you don't cause any problems. You don't break any rules, and all the staff respect you because you're doing the right thing.
Did you have to work your way up to that?
Yes.
Okay. And how many of those last years did you have a cell to yourself?
My last 2 years.
Your last 2 years.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So we saw the cell. You seem pretty unflappable, right? Yeah. I mean, you've been through all this stuff and you're like, yeah, let's go get it, right? It doesn't seem like very much throws you off your game, So I'm going to ask you about what I experienced, what I saw you experience after we saw that cell. But first, let's take a break. This is Reformed and Real. I'm the co-host, Wayne Burt, with Mario Hernandez. We'll be right back. We are back here at Reformed and Real. And so, Mario, I teased it before, but, you took a glimpse into 50C. Your first time looking into that cell since you left the facility. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
So
you
that
got a little mopey on me, man.
Well, I thought it was going to be all fun and games till I got my eyes poked out.
Oh, that old adage.
Yeah, the old adage goes. But no, I really thought it was going to be fine. And when I walked in there, I was like, I'm a little depressed.
Yeah.
And it started at RDU and it finished there. And I was like, man, I don't know how I feel about this. I really got a little sad. And just, I don't know what exactly, words I can use for that, but I was sad, and
Yeah.
I really wanted just to move on and get out of there. Right? We didn't spend much more time there.
No.
Yeah, man, I just can't explain it. It was. I felt sad.
Threw you into some melancholy.
Yeah, I felt sad.
Anything about wasted youth?
Everything about wasted everything. It was about all the years that I spent there, and I try to talk myself into a better mood by saying, you know what, I wouldn't be walking through this right now if I hadn't been through that before.
Yeah.
In the same token, you're like, yeah, but you spent years in this place.
But you still had that experience.
Yeah. And just it reminded me of the chow, the dinner, going to chow hall, which is the cafeteria. Reminded me of going to the gym during movements. It reminded me of the education, waiting to go to work. It reminded me of this CO that I remember from back in the day that wore these glasses that were like state trooper glasses. The big, what do they call those?
Those mirrored sunglasses?
Yeah. And boy, man, that dude was something else. He was a mean dude. You couldn't even walk by his building without him pulling you over.
Wow.
He basically would spend all day long on the porch of the building, pulling people aside and searching them and looking for something, right? But that's what that reminded me of, and it reminded me of people that were there when I left. I'm like, God, I wonder if this guy's still here, and I wonder if that guy's still there, and then I just thought, man, I'm just so happy that I'm not there anymore.
Yeah. I think about that line from Cool Hand Luke. And I'm not going to get it right, but it's like, you don't want to anger the man with no eyes. That was the guy with the mirrored sunglasses.
Yeah.
But then I saw something that refers to a little bit of what you talked about earlier, was right after we took a look at the cell, before I knew that it had plunged you into a little bit of melancholy, there was one of the inmates that approached you. He said, "How'd you do it? I want to know how you did it." Yeah. Wow. That was something, huh?
Yeah. That's my favorite part in the whole world. That's when people want to know. If people aren't curious about how somebody that gets out and succeeds, I think that's kind of I think that's kind of a thing, right? It's if you're wondering, like, and you're sitting in prison and this is your third time in there, and you're like, gosh, I just want to get out and never come back again, because that's what everybody thinks, right?
Yeah.
When that guy saw me, he's like, man, he says, how'd you do it? And can you sit and talk to me? Can I call you? And
what'd you say?
I said, yeah, call me. And I says, my number is at the reentry center. You can call me anytime you want, and if you want to talk about it, I can help you. And,
has he called you?
Not yet.
Yeah,
but he will. Yeah. He's still got like 8 months left to go. So
I see.
He's when he gets closer to getting out, he's going to reach out to me for reentry services, and of course we'll help him out.
Good. He looked of the middle-aged variety.
Yeah.
Where he might be at that point.
Right.
How often is that common, right? Like someone, repeat stints in the correctional institution, and then you get to a certain number of cycles. There's no magic number, I know, but
right.
How much more likely is it that you get sometimes into your 30s, 40s? For you, what, 45?
45, yeah.
Yeah, finally. Which always surprised me in that pilot episode we did. Yeah. But how often that is that the common thing? People are like, man, I got to stop this. This is zany,
Well, I think can I tell you a little something about that? So,
of course.
Wayne, when I was going through my addiction, right, in my worst days of my addiction, there's always a certain level of excitement, right? Not only, and it's not because you're having fun, it's because your heart's racing, because you're high, right? And that's
when you go back to that.
Right, when you go back to that. So when you go to prison, you're like, gosh, dang, what was I doing? I don't even know what I was thinking. I don't know. And when your family tries to ask you, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know. I'm an addict.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get past it.
You forget about it.
Yeah, you
forget.
Mean,
it's a little bit, except in a more severe way, like the terrible hangover.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, I'm never going to drink again, man. You spend some time getting, clean or whatever.
Yeah.
Getting
sober.
off alcohol, and then the similar triggers represent themselves,
Right. Yep.
and you don't know how to reroute it.
Yeah. That place is full of that, Wayne.
Yeah.
It's full of people that want to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's listening out there, if you have a family member or a friend or a family member or a friend's family member that's been afflicted by drugs in prison, support. That's what gets people through it is support.
Yeah.
And I hear, we're not going to really get off into this a whole lot, but I hear a lot of tough love stories. That's not how you get people through. That's not how you help people out of the hole. You don't tell them, well, if you got in that hole, now get out of it, right?
You mean if you demean people and insult them and make them do extra push-ups, it doesn't work?
It does not. Helping
You're blowing my mind.
Pulling out your hand, putting out your hand and saying, here, let me help you out of that hole.
Yeah.
And that place is filled of people with people that are in the hole that want out. And, you got to see that firsthand. You got to see all the people coming around and talking to us and Nick and Chad and wanting the information. Like what it was is like their curiosity is like, man, what do I got to do to get better and get out of here and never come back? That's what their thought is. They may not ask that particularly, but that's what their thinking is. It's like, I got to get out of here. What am I going to do? How can I do it? And how can I never come back?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow. I think that there's always sometimes you can keep doing that, keep making the same mistakes, repeat the same patterns, if you're able to maintain that front, like nothing's getting to you. Right. Yet, particularly if it's a drug charge, it seems like it's like a consistent pattern of medicating for your pain. Yeah. I mean, the one thing, with this, and I know we're going to experience this even more, but, Danielle's episode, man, I mean, such vulnerability.
Yeah.
But also like a pattern of coping with a pretty bad deck of cards she was dealt.
Yeah.
And, something like that gets to you when you're in your teenage years. It must be really, really, really daunting to climb out of that.
Yeah. And that's 100% of the people that are incarcerated. And I got to get into something while we're right there.
Sure.
Let's talk about, I did a speaking engagement at the Historical Society, I think last year or the year before. And somebody raises their hand like, what can we do to get mental health care better in correctional institutions? Because there's, I have a brother that's incarcerated. He needs mental health assistance. And, I heard all these people talking about, there's a few people that aren't getting the thing. And I says, where we're wrong. I stood up and I said, where we're wrong is everybody that goes into a prison needs mental health help. There is not one person that goes into prison healthy.
Yeah.
So that is where we need to start. Yeah. Right. And I know that there's never going to be opportunity for everybody to get health care, but dang it, if this community cares about what the prison population, if they care about the safety of their neighbors, they care about their cars being stolen, they care about this, then they should care about what it's like to get people better.
Yeah.
And that includes mental health and education inside a prison.
Hear, hear.
Yeah.
How do I sign up?
I sometimes I get heated up when I talk about that.
That's the evangelical Mario.
Yeah.
And I know this Mario.
Yeah.
He's great. I'm like, what do I need to do? I mean, I was an unsuspecting guy, 6 months ago or whatever. And now it's like, oh, great, I'm doing a podcast with this guy. What do you know?
Yeah.
That's great. Where are we at with time?
So we still got about 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We could wrap it up with what I would like to do is actually just wrap up the last two facilities. I don't think we need to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb because we've eaten up so much time.
Right.
And then I would like to just do a little lightning round about slang.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we can close it up with more serious stuff after that.
Okay.
That sound good?
All right.
We can just kind of add a new flavor to it.
Yep.
So what I'm going to mention is promise. Is that what it's called?
Restoring promises.
Restoring promises, and of course the manufacturing thing. And the restoring promises you can talk about a little more at length. But anyway, so Okay, we're off mic right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, just to kind of complete the tour, and, we'll refer to it a lot. This was a very, it was a very impressionable experience for me. So I know it's going to come up in some of our conversations and conversations we have with other people, but I do know that, the prison is also, it's kind of a cliche, but they still make license plates, huh?
Yeah, they still do.
That
was one of the questions I asked, because I didn't even know.
Sure. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But they also build furniture, and they do quite a bit of number of things. And that's sort of it's not sort of, it's a manufacturing facility that's in that medium custody facility that we toured. And then there's an actual dorm for the people that work all day, and they go back. Right. They have a good track record of being good workers. They have a good work ethic, and then they can go to a very quiet place.
Yeah. That building is called Correctional Industries, CI.
Got it.
They have an office over here on Orchard. They do make furniture. So it's any state entity in this state, whether it's Department of Health and Welfare, Social Security Administration, all those people get their furniture through CI.
Got it.
And the guys that work there, as some of them are in an apprenticeship program. They have a drafting program in there, and a good one.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen some amazing drafters in there. It's kind of crazy.
That's great.
Yeah. Guys that really, they work hard, and they dedicate their time and their efforts and their education experience to designing and making furniture. And it's pretty cool.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. And then the other one that struck a particular note of pride with Chad, Nick, and yourself was Restoring Promises.
Yeah, so Restoring Promises is a nationwide program. It's where it's targeted to youth, so anywhere from 18 to 25. These people that are involved in that program are youthful offenders that they have been missing. Our society, our prison system has been missing the mark on making sure that we take care of our youth that go into prison. Because you can't just put them in a box with a bunch of people that, that are still kind of messed up, still going through addiction or whatever, with kids, youngsters, right? That we can help them, And so they started the program, Restoring Promises. They have a mentor for every mentee. Every kid that's there has somebody that mentors them, and they help them get through their day without any problems. And, when we walked in there, it's a whole different lifestyle in there. It's pretty nice, painted different. There's a couch in there. There's a TV in there.
It is nice.
But those people spend their days around people that want to teach them how to do better and make better decisions inside of prison so they can get out and never come back.
Yeah, it's great.
What a great opportunity for youngsters to get in there and be around people that'll be a positive influence on them. So what a better thing than to have, these guys around, somebody that's been around a long time that can help them, be comfortable in making wise choices inside of prison. So that's what that's about.
That's great. It had that same feeling as the educational facility. There was a lot of pride in the place, and really great. What a privilege to be part of. You know?
Yeah, it was a good tour.
Yeah. Now, I'm not trying to be an insider. I'm going to shift the tone a little bit, right? But I do I'm kind of a words guy, so I do get a kick at picking up on some of the slang. But I haven't picked up on much of it, right? I mean, what I have now is 5-piece, 2-piece. That's Angel the guard dog down there drinking water, by the way.
Yeah, everybody can hear him.
Keeping us safe from outside invaders.
3-month-old little security.
That's great. Okay, so tell me if these are active slang terms. We're going to do a little lightning round. Backdoor.
Backdoor?
Yeah. Active or not? Is it
It's not active.
Okay. Backdoor parole?
That's not active.
Okay. Got it. See, this movie stuff is a bunch of crap, right?
Yeah.
I'm not even saying it's movie. Boned out.
Boned out means to leave. Split. Get out.
Gotcha. Okay. Bug. Describing a certain person.
No, it's not active.
Not really. Is there a replacement for that?
Pain in the...
So bug would be... Bug would be a non-trustworthy guard or psychiatrist.
No.
Okay. There's no word for that, really?
No.
I mean, medium custody, right? Maybe I'm headed the other place. This one cracks me up. Catch cold.
I don't know that one.
It means get killed.
Oh, geez.
Catch cold.
Yeah. In there,
All
they
right.
say just get smoked.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Lifeboat?
Nope.
No, that means getting paroled. Viking, someone's a Viking.
Nope.
They avoid hygiene.
Oh, they call those bikers.
Bikers.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
if you're somebody that doesn't take a shower, they're like, hey, biker, take
Yeah.
a shower, dude.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. I learned something.
Yeah.
All right. And wolf packs.
Nope.
No. Okay. I mean, some of that's gang stuff, right?
Yeah,
At
yeah.
medium custody, I know there's a little gangishness, but
Yeah.
it's probably not as prominent as
So-
it is in maximum
So
custody.
I'll give you a couple.
Yeah, do it. Let's
Yeah.
go. Yeah, let's start the real education.
Placa.
Blocka?
Placa. It's a Placa. Placa means plaque. It's
Yeah.
the Spanish word for plaque,
Sure.
which means badge.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you mean by badge? Like
Cop.
like a
CO.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, I mean, there's lots of derogatory stuff, but I'm not going to get into those.
Yeah,
let's see.
we don't need to sauce it up too
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
This is about reform.
Yeah. So, writer.
Uh-huh.
A writer is somebody that's doing basically a treatment program inside of IDOC under the jurisdiction of the courts, the judge that sent them there. They do not ever get relinquished directly to IDOC and stay there. They're under the jurisdiction of the courts. The judge in the end decides what to do with them.
How's that look differently, though, if they're in the facility?
Really, it doesn't. They're just in there floating around with people.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's a spot for them up north in Cottonwood where some people do their riders, and there's one over at the Magic Valley Transformation Center over there across from that complex, which is also a rider program.
Gotcha.
Basically, a lot of intense programming, substance abuse treatment, domestic violence stuff, where they help anger management,
Sure.
child care. They teach you, parenting, stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of it, very intense for that year-long program.
Yeah. Is a writer less like throwing away the book?
A lot less.
Got it.
Yeah, that's like you still got a chance.
You still got a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never qualified for one of those?
Yeah, I have.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I qualified it during the worst time that there could be one. That's when Cottonwood was a freaking boot camp.
Really?
We were wearing army fatigues and marching up and down the street.
Is that right?
And moving piles of snow all over the place.
Oh,
like
my
we'd
gosh.
shovel up, because it snows a lot in Cottonwood. We'd shovel up all the snow. They say, all right, now you got that piled up here. Move that whole pile to the other side of the field. And we're like, dang.
Wow. Interesting.
So I did do a rider, but that didn't cure me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was what of how many stints?
I think about 7 or 8, probably.
Gotcha.
Many.
Yeah.
That doesn't count the county jail stints. Probably about 12 or 15.
Well, I mean, that reinforces a lot of stuff. And I mean, the majority of people's prison references are like from movies, right?
Right.
You know, and so I feel myself saying that. I'm like, oh, moving snow, the Dirty Dozen or whatever. And I'm even combining the military with it, which I know drives you crazy.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about the prison system.
Yeah.
That needs the attention here.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's okay because, we think that the military is a lot like being in prison. That's what I feel. They don't feel like it, but kind of the same mentality when you got a bunch of guys together in one dorm, right?
Sure.
Yeah, same mentality, just a bunch of men. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and treatment stuff, right? I mean, it's not like form fit one to the other, but there are some similarities. Yeah. When we talked to Joe Scott, it was this conversation about what you do, right?
Right.
And, your past and your affiliation that lent him to come up with, the parallel of Mission 43. And, we might get to the point where we actually talk about that. I know we're going to go tour it.
Yeah, we will. Yep. As far as lingo, there's a lot of slangy lingo that's, for lack of a better word, pointless, right? There's so many words. And, the big ones are, chow hall. That's where you go eat, go to chow. There's really not a whole lot more that you can get into. I mean, there's slang that's got swearing in it and stuff. We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, that's the one place we're limited. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I think when you get out, when I got out and I says, let's go to chow, and people around me like, go to chow. What's that mean?
Let's go to chow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we are at Wendy's.
Yeah. Is this chow?
Oh, how funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you ask for the big plastic, tray. And
Yeah. Can I get that in styrofoam, please?
do you have a limited time to eat your meals?
7 minutes.
Seriously?
Yeah. And they used to have an alarm in there, which was kind of crazy.
Amazing.
When you walk into chow, there used to be a green light that goes on. And when the last person, and when that green light comes on, it's 7 minutes. And the red light, when it comes on, that's the last person through the line. So the last person through the line has to eat faster than everybody else, right? So nowadays, I eat like I eat like an animal when I eat dinner.
Yeah.
Everybody's done, and I'm like, well,
I'll
I
bet
guess
you
I'm
do.
going to sit here and be bored then. 'Cause I already ate
Sit there
my-
with your arms folded.
Yeah, I like to say it's because I like my food
Yeah.
hot. It's because I've been used to eating in prison.
Do you sweep aside the utensils? You just,
Sometimes.
grab it by hand,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
jam it into your mouth.
Yeah, because I don't, they give you a spork in prison. It's a plastic spoon fork.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
And,
Well, I'm a backpacker, so I know what a spork
oh, yeah,
is.
I wouldn't bring one. If I went backpacking with you, I'd bring a spoon and a fork.
Would you? Well, we'll weigh our packs at the beginning. We'll see whose weighs more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's, I guess, for terminology, again, fixed.
Yeah.
Fixed means that's the amount of time is your determinate time.
Sure.
So when somebody says, I got 4 fixed, that means I got to do 4 years before I go to parole.
Right.
And everybody uses the word indeterminate for indeterminate. My indeterminate time is, they'll say it like this: I got 4 plus 7,
Yeah.
which is a total of 11. So you got 4 fixed and 7 indeterminate for a total of 11 years.
And the 7 indeterminate are those that are qualified to go up for parole.
Yeah,
in
you're
front of the
eligible for parole.
board.
Yeah, you're eligible for parole during that whole time.
Sure.
And not everybody gets out. That's another one of my problems.
How much of it, and this could be actually another episode that we do later, but how much of that when you go up in front of the parole board is, need to form this question, let me be careful here, is your track record, what you've done, what you present on paper, reports from the institution, and how much of it is how you do in that session when you go in front of the parole board, like how well you present it, personally.
I think it's about half.
Half
because
and half.
you can go in and they can have this perception or preconception that this guy's been in prison 5 times. He's here on a 5 to life, and I'm talking about me, right?
Sure.
And he's been to county jail a bunch of times. He's an addict, and what are we going to do with him? And let's just let him do a few more years and think about it. When I went up, I'm like, you know what? I actually I saw the light. I don't want to tell you guys everything that I did while I was in prison, but all I did is work on positive stuff. I stayed out of the fray. I did my time the way I was supposed to, and I helped as many people as I could. And I made sure that I put myself in a position of integrity to where I'm already living right.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if I get out today, I'm already living right. I'm going to be fine this time, and
Yeah.
I'm ready. I think we had a conversation back and forth, and they felt comfortable with what I said, and said, "All right, well, we're going to give you a chance for parole."
Yeah. If you do that and you're granted parole, but then you come back, the second time you do that in front of the parole board must have less impact. Or do they keep track of that?
They do keep track of it, but it depends on what you did. Like, let's just say that you were out and you ended up relapsing. But while you were relapsing, you worked the whole time. You have a home, you have a family, right? And you relapsed, right? Sometimes they'll let you back out. They'll be like, you know what? This guy's doing all this stuff. He's paying all of his fines, and my dog's over there squeaking his toy. This guy paid his fines. He paid his costs of supervision. He wasn't a problem on supervision.
Yeah.
When he relapsed, that's when he became a problem. And what kind of a plan does this guy have to continue his sobriety and his treatment? And if it's a good plan, then they see it.
So the parole board is pretty good. At putting all that stuff into context.
Yeah, and their main goal is public safety. And just so you know, it's not just the board that worries about public safety. It's everybody in corrections. It's Bree Derrick, it's Chad Page, it's Tina Transu, it's it's all the chiefs, deputy chiefs of probation and parole. Their goal is public safety, but also, they got to think about this other thing, like, what can we do to help this person get better? How can we do this and still instill public safety in our in corrections?
Who's on a parole board?
I think I really don't know. Most of them are ex-police officers and. Prosecutor and maybe a business owner, a farmer or something. I don't know. I know that they're the people that in my opinion shouldn't be there. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, explain. Yeah, you can have one person on there that was a sheriff or FBI agent, but you can't have all law enforcement people on there, right? You have to have somebody that represents the community from a perspective that's everyday people, right? That's, let's just say, a voice of reason.
Why? Because law enforcement people can be jaded?
Yeah, because they've seen it all. And I've been to lots of parole hearings, and you got that one that's that basically very mean, very disrespectful. And then you got the ones that, and I don't know it's like that anymore, but it used to be, right? Now you just got the tough, good cop, bad cop, right? It's kind of weird. And I'm not talking bad about them. It's a tough job when you're worried about people being safe in the community, and when you're trying to also make sure that you're not keeping the prison system over full.
Yeah,
it's a very, very touchy subject.
Are you immune from any parole board stuff as long as you stay out of prison?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you can speak freely.
Yeah.
I just don't want to hear you getting into trouble now.
No, I don't care. So you have to do something wrong to go back, and I don't do anything wrong. So
okay, good.
And that's a big thing. Let me tap on that for a second. That's what I tell everybody. It's like, man, if you watch where you put your feet, you won't end up in a bad place. Yeah. And if you don't end up in a bad place, guess what? You can't go back to jail.
Right.
Yeah. You do follow the rules, follow the laws, respect the law, respect the rules of parole, respect your neighbors, love your family, and then you'll never come back again.
It's a good thing to remember where your feet are, and whether you're doing the right thing, whether you're living your life in an upstanding way.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age when so much stuff can come under scrutiny, and a lot of it being kind of fake, right?
Yeah.
That if you have confidence that you're doing that sort of thing, you're probably pretty equipped to navigate those fires, I suspect.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get a parole board person on this show.
That'd be great. I think, and that's an invite out there. If you're on the parole commission and you're out there, you want to have, put your little opinion in here and talk about what you do, why you do it, and for who, and all the where's, whens, ins, and outs. I'd love to have you.
Yeah, let's get a glimpse of it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all about learning more and humanizing all of it. So let's do it.
All right, man. Well, it's been a great conversation, Wayne.
Thanks for the glimpse. I mean, to add all the detail to all this stuff that is pretty much a maiden voyage for me is a real privilege, Mario, and I really appreciate everything that you tell me and educate me. You're now my, my Obi-Wan Kenobi, my prison Obi-Wan Kenobi.
P-O-B. Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
No, we've had enough acronyms. I can hardly remember the acronyms now. And I do want to give a shout out to Chad Page and Nick Baird, Deb, of course, and Vance Smith for just
Andrew Strebel
just for their great and generous. Let me re-say that. For their generosity and taking the time and really giving what I think is a pretty insightful glimpse into how our Idaho prison system works. So thank you guys.
Yes, thank you guys very much. We absolutely love you. I do. I think they're great people, and guess what?
What?
I'm a former resident, and I love those guys. Crazy.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And it's not Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, and I also love my people inside of corrections. So, that's just, once learning how to live, my friend. I'm learning how to live again.
Learning how to live. There you have it. Well, thank you. And on behalf of Radio Boise, we appreciate you listening, and we'll be back with another scintillating episode next week.